Okay, I'm gonna just pop back on real quick. I've been walking around for about an hour now. Didn't find anything significant, but I came back out here where the crooked tent was. I'm gonna go back to my original thing that I think that area that was roped off, I think, and with the crime scene tape, I'm gonna go back to thinking that was just to maybe divert attention. You know, we had this tree was tied to this bush, and then it went straight. Did it go over there? No. Then it went up here to where the tent was sitting. Then I believe it went from the tent to that tree, possibly. I had to look at the pictures. I looked at them before I came up, and then I forget already when I get up here, and then back over to here. But it was either this tree or that little tree was tied to this silver tree right here. And I'm thinking it was that little one. And then somehow the tape went up. Here, the tent was sitting right here in this nook. Right here. This is where the tent was sitting. And then the tape went over to there and back across. Because the more I look at that, and then after kind of listening to that newer information, which, you know, I don't know what the source is for that, but it's definitely, hey, just like everything else, it's all plausible, it's all speculation, so I'm willing to take it all with a grain of salt, and, you know, possibly, you know, it looks like there was, I mean, that's water activity, but there could have been something going on in there. But I'm still really starting to think that this could be the location where they, right here, in this little area, this is where the drainage canal kind of starts from the livelong service trail. It comes off, and you know, it would run across it, because you can see here where we laid down a bunch of palm trees, palm fronds, so we could walk over the water, and the water comes right through here. You can see, and that's the tree swing over there. So it all went this way. But if you didn't do nothing over at the tree swing, I'm open to the theory. I mean, that could still be a possibility out there, but it was this area right here. This just looks like a place where it would have been deep enough for something to kind of be underwater. Definitely would be knee-deep water in here. And seeing as they had that tent, I'm pretty sure this is the spot where the examiner's tent. It's been a month now, so it's really getting hard to, and plus I've been up here so many times, you start confusing yourself. So you got to factor that in. But I think this was the area where the examiner's tent was basically sitting. Because here's that opening when the helicopters would fly over. They were looking down right in this hole. So I'm thinking this was the spot. It could be over there too, but I'm thinking this is it. But no, if you look up through here and then look at the scenery, I mean, this in itself is a pretty tranquil spot right here. You know, you got the field, then you got this just kind of pretty area. So this, and it could have been like right in through this, right where we're walking. It definitely could have been. You know, maybe got hung up on these roots and stuff. Right here from this tree. It most certainly could be the spot. And it kind of makes sense because it covers from either direction. If he'd have come up the service trail, there's three ways he could get up here. The service trail, over there is a livelong primitive trail, the skinny trail by the canal. And then he'd have walked into the tree swing area and walked over here. And then the livelong return trail is on the other side, like over in, you know, out in that direction. So did he come walking down this direction? You know, and then got into here and just decided, you know, this is it right here. I mean, this is pretty cool place. The only thing that I'm not sure about, because here we got the parents in the vicinity very close. There's a picture. See this? little palm bush right here. Okay, there's a picture of them. Now it was a much narrower. They just came up here and mowed too, by the way. See how wide this path is? This was not like this last week. So they came up in sometime this week, and they've mowed the service trail open again. But this tree, if you look, there's a picture. It's kind of caught right here, and it was just the width of a 4-foot brush hog deck, or 6 foot. Are they 4 or 6 foot? But it's just one path, and they're standing about right out where you see the grass change color. So if we back up that photo and just search, parents at where remains found or something, to that effect on Google. And there's numerous photos, and one of them photos, they're both standing together in this bush right here. This bush, a portion of it is in that photo. So if that was the case and they did find the remains here, there again, the parents would have literally walked right by, and they would have had to have seen them if this is the spot. So that kind of takes that away a little bit from me, because it would have been too obvious. They would have literally been the ones to find the remains. So, and it still could be, all these crime circles, evidence circles could still be in play. The pinned location in the backfield still could be where they did find, we just don't know. It's just, there was another theory. I caught it late last night, and I watched it, and and it sounds like it might be from, credible sources that was told to these people. So that's a possibility. Like I said, I'm open to it all. I'm just hoping I can find that. A lot of people are like, well, whatever, if he's dead, what are you up there looking for? It's like, don't really know, to be honest. Like I said, I got kind of hooked into this, but if there is a firearm that hasn't been recovered, it'd be nice to find that. And, maybe there's a note, maybe there's a note in a plastic bag that pertains to this, and maybe that's the missing puzzle, the missing piece. Until they come out and tell us what they have, we can just speculate that there might still be stuff up here. So, that's kind of why, and just the, curiosity. And it's fun to be in the woods. I enjoy coming up here. It's so beautiful. It's just like, and it gives you kind of something else to do when you're up here. It's like, well, if you're up here, you might as well look around. And, like I said, I'm just taking this footage just so that, maybe somebody will see something I don't. Because I've noticed my stuff is starting to get like, because at first it was just my family and friends that were watching it. But then, of course, you know how the internet is. That stuff starts just getting out there. So, and I don't care. I don't mind. It's just, I'm not trying to, so for anybody thinking that I'm going to have a true crime channel or something in the future, that's not going to happen. So it'll just be more me doing boring stuff. Probably mountain biking. I'm going to get me a mountain bike and start biking these trails, and I'll use my GoPro and get some cool footage of that then. But here's the tree swing area again. Now, this is an area that I just keep avoiding searching for some reason, and I don't know why. One is because it's so easy. You would think that it's already been searched. What I did notice, though, I'm going to go back to this. Okay, it was WFLA Channel 8 out of Tampa. October 21. They have, I think it was WFLA. I might have to check that. It could have been Fox 13 also. And so just but if you find any aerial footage from the 21st, there are vehicles like parked all through here, like back in here. And what I found interesting, though, is there was no vehicles parked in here at all. And there was no vehicles parked up there where the crooked tent with the crime scene was. But there was vehicles like back in here. If you look at the footage, you'll see what I mean. There's vehicles, and there's actually, it looks like a truck back in the field, the field with the pins, where we thought the remains were, that pinned location, there's actually a truck sitting back there. And it looks like maybe a gator too, like in the woods line. And then, like over towards that return trail, it looked like there was a truck sitting clear over there. Like they came in from all angles to this scene. And there was even vehicles, I think, parked back in this area. Like back in right here where I'm, like right here. They were just kind of like throughout the area. And, so initially, or my first thought is, well, then maybe that's not the crime scene that we think it is, because why would they be parking vehicles all over the crime scene? What I did find interesting, though, is they did not park nothing in front of the tree swing area or where that crooked tent was. So maybe that means something. But, what we can do at this point, I'm not too sure how much further I'm going to, I'm going to still come down to the park, but I'm not sure how much more, I'm going to just keep walking around in here looking for stuff. Clues or, I guess I'm looking for a note or a handgun. Just something. But, something we can do is now get, if you're familiar, if you're not able to be down here, you live in another state, another country, whatever, get this area, specific area, get familiar with it on Google Earth. And once you get familiar with the area where the crime scene was, then start watching all this footage, the flyover footage, the aerial footage, and see if anything stands out. Over here at the tree swing area, I did see a couple items that were on the other side towards the canal that I want to go check out today. The footage was too far away, but it just looked like something, it was kind of a whitish and black, like, I don't know. Over in that nook over there, it was close to where the rattlesnake, that's actually where we were going to look last week. But then that stupid rattlesnake was over there, so we kind of cut that area off for the day. Because as soon as at least we left him sitting, so we know where he is. The minute he moves, now you don't know where he is, so we don't know if he moved or not. So we left him sitting, but he could have been, he was pretty ticked off at us, and as we walked away, he might have moved. So we just stayed out of that area, but I'm going to walk this area again. Just give that. But I did find that interesting, that there was nothing parked in here on that footage. That doesn't mean there wasn't nothing ever parked in there, just the footage that I seen, but there was definitely trucks parked in here, all along here. Like I think one was a canine truck parked. And then, like I said, I can't remember where all that junk was, that sheet metal and then piles of wood. It's like in here somewhere, roughly. I just can't quite remember. I could go back through my old footage, though. I'm sure it's on there. I just haven't. It would show exactly where it's at. We did kind of walk through here. Me, Sam, and Lydia. We did kind of search this area out, but you can definitely see water flows through here, which is in the direction of the dry bag that the father found. So there's a good possibility that he was following this water path, straight across, and then if you walk straight across there, that comes out into that field where the silver pin was. So my thinking is, there could be stuff laying in here. If something happened over here. See, and oh yeah, I want to get back, what I was saying about what are you looking for. Here's what I'm truly looking for. I'm looking for the exact spot that this all went down. The main reason, just curiosity, want to know, but if there was a firearm used, guns don't float. So if we can backtrack and figure out where things took place and originated, then we'd know the area where if there was a firearm used, we would know where to look. And that's why, so that's why I keep referring to, over here in this area and trying to find that original place. Now, if they would have just came out from the beginning and said, hey, we found the remains, there was a firearm laying there, we haven't determined cause of death yet, blah, blah, all that's fine. But then, you'd know that, okay, there's no gun out here, and that's wherever, if there was a body laying beside the firearm, okay, the body never floated, it stayed right there. Because remember, whatever the distance is, if there was a gun used, the body is from that gun, that gives you an indication of, how much floating did it do? Did it float at all? You just don't know, because, like I said, a metal firearm is not going to float. I mean, in a flood, it could get washed and tumbled a little bit, but I don't believe the current is that strong up here. It's more of an oozing water, deep water, knee-deep, waist-deep water drainage situation up here. So we'll walk back in here to the tree swing. Shut off. And just look around a little bit. There's the tree swing again. Rope's on the other side of that palm tree. Or that little palm bush, whatever you call it. There could be a note. Maybe there's a note stuck up in this tree somewhere. There's a hole right there. I mean, that just seems like that would have been a lot of effort to try to stick something in there. I seriously don't believe that to be the case. Oh, there's another hole over here. Right here. Huh. I hear an animal in there. There's something inside that tree. You can hear him in there, probably a squirrel. But, yes, once again, the beautiful area.